Again. Recording, but you have the agenda to share screen? Or do you want me to do that? Because I can do it.
I mean, we can do it, but do we have to right now?
Yeah, you have to approve the agenda.
No, I thought we established we don't have to do that.
Oh, well, you guys may have established that you don't have to do that when I wasn't paying attention because I wasn't paying attention to most of your meetings.
Yeah,
That's fine.
we did it behind your back.
No, it's that's not what I mean. Well, your first order of business is review of agenda. So either way, you need to put it share screen. So you want me to do it or you want to do it?
We
can do it right now.
refuse.
No
Okay.
problem.
We will not.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go, walk out for a second and grab my coffee.
Okay.
Okay, can you see my screen? Cool. So, sorry, I'm sleepy today. Graphic design discussion, photography services. We're gonna be talking about that. Board member news stories, website updates, along with the done social media policy.
Yeah, your screen, I'm not seeing a shared screen, but I don't care. Does everybody have a copy of the agenda?
Yes.
Yeah. And then we're going to review social media postings and talk about some more communications and marketing ideas. Oh, someone, I think, I don't know if someone paused my share.
Oh, not me. I was getting coffee.
Can you see it now?
Oh, now I can see it.
Yeah. Okay, that was weird.
Okay.
Never seen that happen before.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Okay, board member
Blame the
news stories, website updates, digital social media policy, review of social media postings, and communications and marketing ideas. So that is it. Now we're at public comments. Anybody have any public comments?
No, I'm raising my hand.
Oh, okay, Laura.
Only that at the outreach meeting, there was some commentary / complaining that we're not using Nextdoor often enough.
Yeah, and I agree. What I'd say to that is that we've been asking Jeff Camp for like a year now for the official UNNC login, and we haven't gotten it yet. So.
All right. Well, I will bug him. There's a couple of things and the good news is for him. I mean, I thought we'd have a couple of weeks of his attention, but he already got a new job.
Oh, wow.
He's working for council member Krikorian in the same role, different neighborhood as a field deputy.
Oh,
nice.
So really great for him. Really, once again, difficult to assume how we're going to quickly get his attention to do all this stuff, but at least he's
what area is Krikorian?
Like Studio City. It's District 2. So I think it's a little bit of Hollywood and then Valley stuff.
The Valley, okay. Cool.
It was if you follow politics, every 10 years they redraw the district lines based on the census and based on other considerations like retaining seats for Latino and African American council members. So several decades ago, Council District 2 was actually Baldwin Hills in Venice Beach, that area, and it was Ruth Galanter. But by the time, and she was very well liked, but by the time the redistricting came around and she was on the last year of her ability to be a council member, they needed to throw the Baldwin Hills back into South LA, at the time, Council District 8. So suddenly District 2 got moved all the way to the Valley, even though she lived in Venice. So, I mean, it was a big change. All the other decades, there were smaller changes, but they moved District 2 completely away from what it used to be. Anyway, but we gossip and digress.
Yes, we do.
So anyway, so he got a job. A number of the council deputies did get other jobs with other council offices. So I'm happy.
Well, cool. But okay, I mean, thank you for sharing the UNN or the next door concern. It's one that we've heard before and one that we share. So I'll also, I think we already have an email out to him, Gabby, right? Maybe I'll just.
We do. I guess we just need to follow up on that.
I'll reply to that email thread and just kind of ask.
Right, but this time you need to use his personal email, which would be letter M like Mary Jeff Camp, mjeffcamp at mail.
Yep.
All right. Next item is the graphic design and photography services. We need to discuss and finalize the solicitation process. So we didn't do that last time.
Yeah.
I think what the plan needs to be is to talk about developing some content on social media, right? And send out an e-blast.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I was kind of looking into it and I just kind of lost steam, but there's some site that I came across that's like makes it very easy to like create like a fillable application of sorts. It's like basic information, name, and you can like, the fields you can like kind of designate for what. So I was thinking we can maybe use something simple like that for people to just kind of like fill in online.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was?
No, I'll find it again. It was many tabs ago. I'll find it and I'll share it.
Yeah, would it be possible, I'm trying to figure out how to do this, to in effect download whatever it is you're thinking about, but then create a fillable PDF instead of a fillable online, just because people are putting in their personal information and it would be online.
It would probably be protected if we're asking people to make to submit information online. And also, if the PDF, where would the PDF live? Would we have to upload it to the website?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's another point. Yeah, here's another, trying to figure this out. I think their application would have to be made public.
Yeah, and it'll be public, and I mean, we can post the same content on our website that we are, that we're blasting out. It'll be.
No, it doesn't have to be on the website. It would be in the a Google Drive, for whatever meeting you agenda it to, it'd be in the advanced agenda. That's the current protocol for paperwork. I think. I don't think you have to publish it on the website.
Well, I mean, I was just saying that in response to you saying that it had to be public. I mean, I don't know what you meant by it being public.
If you're going to discuss a person's application, okay, so for the candidates, when people are candidates,
that'll be on our agenda once we get candidates to discuss, for sure. Yeah.
Right, but up until then, you don't need to publish. To discuss their applications, the applications would end up in our Google Drive folder that we put on the advanced agenda packet. But for that, you and Gabby, because you're not a Brown Act, and Michael, if you want, can discuss offline. Because maybe only 2 people are finalists. Just don't bring in me.
I'm completely lost. But
for the Brown Act, as long as it's 2 or fewer, if you have a whole bunch of applicants, then you don't need to bring them all forward to a board meeting or to a committee meeting, I think. And you wouldn't have to publish their applications unless they're brought forward to a committee meeting. So I think you can review and reject someone who's not qualified. But
right. Well, yeah, and that and that kind of brings me to my next point. Excuse me, about like qualifications. I'm thinking about this a lot, and we're kind of going through a similar exercise at work where we're kind of rethinking people like hiring and like hiring practices and how they've been advantageous and disadvantageous to, you know, people historically, and what we can do to kind of disrupt that and be better about it. And so I think especially as a neighborhood council, like I definitely want to get, you know, qualified individuals for both these roles, but I also kind of see our role as a neighborhood council of you know, like building people up and kind of, and so all this to say, like, I don't necessarily think that we should go out and look for like a photographer, or graphic designer that may not be able to find an opportunity like this elsewhere. You know what I mean? Like I kind of want to find like, and we'll see who we get as applicants, but like, I just want to make sure that we're being very considerate in our application process and really considering applicants who we think we can kind of like bring along into these roles and really provide an opportunity for people.
So you mean like disadvantaged, you know, community, like reach out to disadvantaged communities, or?
What I'm saying is like, if there's somebody in one of our neighborhoods who aspires to be a photographer, may not have, you know, 15 years of experience as a photographer, but like, this is something that they like to explore, but maybe haven't had the resources to do so in the past. They want to like, I just want to make sure that we're giving consideration to those sorts of applicants, people who haven't necessarily had the opportunity to have roles like this in the past. Not saying, I mean, I'm not speaking at all to, I'm not saying that we should strive to hire people who aren't qualified for these roles, but I do want to be mindful that we are a neighborhood council and that, you know, there's people within our neighborhoods who haven't been afforded all the opportunities in the world. And like, if there's somebody out there who is aspiring to be a graphic designer or photographer, and this could be, you know, a step for them in that direction, like it'd be cool if we could be that step for them, you know?
Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, so then,
Well, because they can build a portfolio.
do you want to develop like a list of requirements? You know,
Well, see,
like
and that's why and so I think we should be a little bit careful there. And I think we need to like craft some language kind of to that point where like, you know, you don't have to have a 10-page portfolio of your graphic designs of your photography to be considered for this. Like, if you have a passion for this and think this is something you can do, we'd love to talk to you. Like, not saying necessarily you'll get the position, but like, we'd love to talk to you and kind of hear what your ideas are and kind of take it from there.
Okay, that's cool with me. I think that's great, because I feel like if someone had given me the opportunity, I probably would have gone into graphic design.
Oh, yeah, see?
But you know, like a lot of people required a ton of experience. So.
Yeah,
I hear what you're saying.
I'm like 10 years into my career. I'm not leaving it.
Right.
Well, I hear what you're saying in terms of especially like putting requirements, because sometimes people,
yeah,
especially like trying to get, because this is kind of like a issue with like within the tech industry as well, especially with people of color. And it's like you see these requirements and these minimum requirements where right off the bat, they kind of disqualify themselves when you're trying to be inclusive with everything else like that. And then that's just also like a cultural thing. And so I see what you're saying in terms of trying to, you want to kind of open it up to people that may not have this experience or may not feel that like by reading the requirements of 2 years of experience or something like that, you're like, I'm just getting into it. I'm someone that likes to do it on the side.
Right.
That is definitely like really nice that you're being mindful of that.
Yeah.
Right. Well, okay, that sounds really good. So I'm writing down like a, you know, things that we need, social media content for Facebook, Nextdoor, Twitter, Instagram, and we're gonna do email as well. A timeline. Do we have time? Do any of us have time to work on this weekend? Maybe
I can try to. And I mean, I can cobble together some less. I think I saw Michael maybe want to jump in. I don't want to.
Well, and I have a couple of questions, not a
Well,
jump.
Michael has his hands full
He
with the
does, he does,
website,
he
so
does, he
I don't
does.
want to
I
take
was
away
saying
from
I
that
could-
work.
I could be there though, like in terms of someone to talk to though, not like
Okay.
exclusively.
You
do-
know, one of the things that I use, sorry, can you still see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we may want to just borrow something from like Canva. You know, they have really great content that we just fill in.
Somebody was just telling us about this.
Yeah.
This is what I use for work.
Okay.
And
Maybe
because
you
I'm
were telling
not,
me
you know,
about
I
it.
don't have time to do graphic design, but you know, like we have some, they have some really cool templates, and I still have the free trial for the premium content if we want to take advantage of it and use it. You know,
Yeah,
like
I mean, if they have some like generic like hiring template that, you know, is a little bit
I
engaging,
think they do.
Okay, so
we can
I'm
customize
trying
it.
to raise my hand here.
Sorry,
Oh,
we're
jump
more
in.
free flowing than that, Laura. We're
Yeah,
just
we
kinda
are.
jumping
Yeah,
in
but
and,
then I'm also trying to talk. Now I'm raising my hand, but so I'll start with the last thing. Canva frustrates me, and that's probably because I've been using InDesign for so many years. So I
That's
had,
probably why.
meaning InDesign is very powerful, and it's really hard to get Canva to work when you're trying to do something powerful. And I'm not saying it in the right way, but I was very frustrated with West Adams Heritage. Our membership chair got an account in Canva, and she wanted to work collaboratively, which is a good thing on design. But then it was really difficult to make a design that also comported with our usual logo and look and the fonts. It didn't have the fonts we usually use, and so on and so forth. So I'm just giving, you know, that may not matter for what you're trying to do with social media. What I was going to ask in terms of requirements for him, I think we want to insist that the person have their own equipment, that even if they're just starting out, we don't have a camera we can be lending them.
yeah,
Even
sure. But I mean, I think,
purchase another camera, because we used to have a camera that was linked to the website. I mean, I don't know quite how that worked. Norman Gilmore could tell you, because he's still our backup person. You've probably not even ever conversed with him, but he's set up a lot of stuff. But I don't even know where the camera is. We're not going to start buying a lot more equipment, because it always comes down to, hey, where is it? When we have to do our.
and I'm
Yeah,
not-
that's not the plan. We can
Yeah.
work it into the requirements.
Right.
yeah.
So
And I mean, I look, if the right person is, or if the right passionate person has like an iPhone with portrait mode, then like that might be.
that,
you know,
yeah, that's fine. I'm
sorry,
just
sorry.
saying that we're not going to be supplying the equipment.
Mhm, yeah, that's
Just as
something
on
we
the
can-
other one, we're not going to be supplying the software.
Right, sure.
Oh, right. So we're not going to be supplying the software here either. Meaning, you know, that ideally the person would know how to do, you know, baby steps, but some Photoshop stuff. I mean, they need to know how. Yeah.
All I'm saying is that like my plan is to stay completely open to these candidates, and we'll see what we get. And like, you know, if somebody can convince us that they can make some really great designs in Microsoft Word and they show us some cool stuff, then like, you know, I'm open. But I'm just encouraging myself to stay open.
Yeah, I just don't want to put us in a position, and us in this case being you, that suddenly you have to crop, or you have to color correct, or do all those things. So sort of a basic knowledge of Photoshop, and that's all I have. I mean, in other words, you can do a lot with a self-taught basic knowledge on Photoshop.
Yeah, I mean, we'll
But I don't want to
see.
add
Like,
to
I
your
think.
schedule.
Sorry.
I don't want to add to your schedule where you get a photo that has a lot of promise but needs fixing.
Trust me, I don't want to add to my schedule either.
Yeah, we barely have time to like
I know.
do everything we need to do.
That's what I'm saying.
We don't have the time.
That's what I'm saying. Hi, Lizzie.
We really don't.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
So that's something that we'll obviously keep in mind as we kind of look through these candidates that we get eventually.
Right. And then,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry, I forgot to mention back in, but it's pertinent now in the public comments in Lizzie's committee meeting, earlier this week. The other thing that people said is, where are the photographs of our new board members on the website? So would this photographer be the person to do that? Or since we're in the middle of a pandemic, are we just going to ask the new board members at the next meeting to, one way or the other, selfie it or have their partner take a photo? I mean, because it's a good point. We don't have everyone's photos on the website at this point. Probably we don't have an updated group of board members on the website at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the website itself, like Dolores reached out to me about the website, and I told her, like, it's looking like the website's going to get a complete overhaul at some point in the near future. So, like
We can
asking
talk
about
about it
your
more
photos
in
on-
our
Board
item.
members.
We can talk about it in the item for the agenda.
Yeah.
We have that on
Okay.
there.
Yeah, but would this photographer, back to the question, on the list of things, would one of the things we're going to ask them to do is do board member photos, or is that a separate deal?
No, that was part of the request in the description that we wrote up and we submitted to the board.
Okay.
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 Um,
So what is our timeline looking like then for going out to find someone?
yeah, so I think in an ideal world, by our next communications committee meeting is when we'll call applicants to come and kind of be seen and heard by, right? So
So if you want to do, okay, so cool. Maybe you want to work on next week on developing the content.
yeah,
I think 1 week is good enough for us both to work on that, right?
it's like from between now and next Thursday.
Yeah, 12/17 to 12/25 or 26, right?
Merry Christmas.
I know.
Is there such a thing as
We're
Christmas?
so dedicated.
Christmas is canceled.
Well, is it canceled? But it's like we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And then we go out the 28th with
Sure.
like a Happy New Year's, if you want to start something new or,
Yeah, perfect.
volunteer for your community, not volunteer, but like
Get
do
paid.
something different for your community,
Yeah.
we're looking to, okay, so 12/28,
Exciting.
begin outreach and,
So are you going to be posting the outreach on the website or in Facebook? Because again, I do the MailChimp,
yes, we are.
but I'd love to have a link to more information.
Yeah, we should have something on the website.
We'll make a post on the website too, and that can be shared.
Yeah,
Right. I mean, just someplace where, because one of the things we also like to do when we're looking at MailChimp is see how many people click through to something. I mean,
Yeah.
we get a measurement.
yeah, that makes sense. That sounds
Okay.
good. 12.
Abby, you look just simply exhausted.
I'm tired. I don't know why. I think it's just mentally tired,
Yeah.
12. So the deadline, you want to make it like the 8th? Friday, no, because then if we go the 28th,
Let's see.
well,
Our
that's
next
2
meeting
weeks.
Our next meeting is going to be January 24th.
21.
21.
You just
Oh,
have it
okay,
a
21,
We got
not
plenty
14.
of time.
So should we
Yeah.
have like a week before that or the Monday before that? So
Let's do
before
a
that.
week before that because
Yeah.
we're gonna struggle going
Yeah.
through,
Yeah.
Well, let me
I
ask
already
you
know
guys.
us.
Okay,
Look
but
at us
let me ask,
imagining that we have like this like boatload of applications like going to be
Okay.
inundated.
No, I think even if we have like 3, we're gonna struggle to read through them.
okay, but
You know?
I have a question for you guys. Do you
Yeah.
want to have separate from the actual standing meeting where you vote on things and make recommendations? Did you want to have a open house sort of session where people can meet up with you guys and ask questions, get answers about this?
If we do that, I think it might just be on the same day earlier, like start at like 7, from 7 to 8, we can do like a question and answer type thing.
Okay.
And then at 8, we can start the actual meeting to discuss anyone who hasn't withdrawn if they don't like our answers at 7 o'clock.
Wait, no, that's good, because I did get the homelessness liaison committee meeting, I believe is on the 28th of January and not the 21st. So meaning we won't have 2 at the same time if you start early. We can confirm this late, I mean,
Yeah.
have to confirm it with Tori, but I know that her agenda went out with January 28th as her next meeting. Not the 21st. But at her meeting tonight, she mentioned the 21st. So I just have to confirm it. It's really difficult for me to run 2 meetings at once, but not impossible because I have 2 computers.
Okay. Okay, so I feel good about this.
Yeah, I feel like when we give ourselves enough time, we'll be able to accomplish it.
She said confidently.
Right. So I'm continuing to circle back. While we are in COVID, right? All of the photography would have to be outdoors.
Yeah.
But and then after that, there'll be interior or exterior. It is
You're getting
much
into the
more
weeds, Laura. You're
difficult.
getting into the weeds of this.
No,
We're still trying to find an applicant.
I'm bringing something up. It's far more difficult to take interior photos in our beautiful dark wood craftsman homes, with especially of our BIPOC, people of color communities. It's just, that's a skill set that's very difficult to achieve, and I know I've never been able to do it. I mean, I've had a hard time finding people to do it. So if we mostly focus on exterior, which would be mostly what we do, right? Events and things.
Okay.
I'm stating a fact. I'm not stating a valuation. I'm stating a fact. Okay, so again, I'll remind you guys, my background, journalist, photo editor, stating a fact.
All right. So does this look good, Raheem? Did I capture everything?
This looks super comprehensive.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it for now then.
Well, are we doing the same thing for graphic design? Same sort
Yeah.
of?
Yeah.
Are you doing it simultaneously, or are you starting with photography 1 month?
Simultaneously, both.
So I would say on graphic design then, that's more serious. I think Raheem, it's going to be harder to encourage people who have very little experience, because once they've created something, we need to be able to use it going forward, right? And that means it has to be in a software that's accessible to the next person and the next person. So you're saying, wow, they can do it in Microsoft Word. So a flyer, yeah, but if it's a product that we want to keep using, it's got to be in, I think, Illustrator or InDesign. I mean, one of those.
No, because then we would need to buy we can talk about the specifics when we go out with the content, and we will circulate it to you, Laura, for feedback.
Yeah.
But that's like really nitty gritty, and we want to get the basic concept of what we need now, and then later on get even more into detail. But you will see this before it goes out so that we can get your feedback on it.
Right. I'm just saying, for example, the complicated banners and, the big complicated design that Linda Frost did for us, and that we still go back to her to update. Nobody else can work on that, and she seemingly has the copyright to it. And that's a different issue, but is this person to be subbing in for her, or is this person just doing one shot, one shot, one shot, one shot? And not part of our big book of imaging, in, you know, design and imaging.
Well, again, I think the goal is to find somebody that we can bring along to kind of be our everything. Like, will they be that on day one? I don't know. I'm open to them not being that on day one. I'm open to the idea. I'm not saying they have to not be that on day one. I'm just open to the idea. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. My tongue was firmly planted in my cheek when I said that we could have a designer working in Microsoft Word. But that's just like what I want to communicate is like my overly openness to whoever these people are. I'm not going to like cut them down with any sort of minimum requirements or any sort of things that, you know, like I don't feel the need to do that at this point. Like once we get to the point of like evaluating 2 candidates, and, you know, then we'll have the ability to do that. We'll say, well, candidate A can do this list of things and candidate B can only do this list of things. We'll, as human beings, we'll kind of look at those 2 people and kind of decide who's going to work best for everything that we want this position to be. But I don't think it needs a lot of litigating at this point, because we're still like pretty far away from that.
Right.
And I mean, look, like Gabby and I came up with this idea so that we could lessen our workload. There's no way we're going to like hire these 2 people and pay them $3,000 a month to make our jobs even harder, make our volunteer jobs even harder, you know?
No, I understand. But my point is, I think my overarching point is this: for photography, it's all one shot, then another one shot, then another one shot. And the only question on copyright is, are they giving us their copyright, and can anyone download their photos or not? I mean, you know, from whatever media, or do we disable downloading? That's all. And it never completely disables. On graphic design, that's completely different, unless you're limiting it to our one shots. But in the past, our graphic design has been more overarching. I mean, again, if you've seen the stand-up things that we have for that shows the map and that, you know, again, the beautiful illustrations for the different neighborhoods, that's a more permanent thing. And there's projects like that, and those are usually individual projects with a big price tag anyway. So if this is just for the one shots, then the only issue is, will the graphic artists understand? They'll need to understand that the copyright would belong to us. It's like a work for hire.
Yep. Okay.
But, okay.
Next item, we're already over time.
We're already 14 minutes behind. This is crazy.
Board member news stories update. I've been really bad at that, but we have 2 pending that we need to post.
Well, I need
get
to
those
see
out.
Is it Cordell's and who else's?
Cordell and there's one other
Three?
story.
John Arnold. Did John turn in his?
He never handed in his story.
Oh, you know what? Maybe we did do. Yeah, we did do.
I think
John
you did, Dorit. Yeah.
Did we do John Arnold?
He never sent us his story.
No,
Remember,
he's told me.
You're right.
To do it,
Okay, so then we have to follow up with John Arnold and then get Cordell's online.
Okay.
And
I
tomorrow
I haven't not seen Cordell's.
You haven't seen it? No. We'll need to get that to you.
Correct.
So,
and it may need a little adjustment.
That's fine.
I mean, I haven't seen it, but what Jeff Camp and I spoke about this today, and the project title might be a little different. It's going to be something probably now that West Adams Avenues presents, then recipes from Historic West Adams. Thank you to UNNC and blah, 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 and our friends and neighbors. So, but I don't think Cordell was not part of that conversation.
We'll keep trying, Raheem, to post them as they come along and as time permits. But I think we've been good with like the stories that we have on the website anyway.
Yeah, I wonder if for these, like, since we're trying to do them on a weekly basis, if we should start like touching base like every Sunday, just about like the week ahead, you know, like just so we can kind of plan out when that gets posted along with everything else. And I guess we can talk about this when we talk about the social media schedule, but
right.
Gotta figure out how to make that work better for us, because it's been like work trying to maintain the schedule and then also post the thing. So it's like it's made it like twice as hard.
Right,
So-
but Gabby, the other thing is the last one you sent to me and Ann and Doug at the same time. I think you need to send it to me first and then I give it back to you and then you send it to them so that they don't get confused and post the wrong one, if there is a wrong one.
I don't remember when I did that. Sorry, Laura.
No, it was
But
just on the
yeah,
last one.
I'll go ahead and
confused.
I'll send
Yeah.
it to you first and then to Anne. Is that what you're saying?
Wait, did that
Yeah, so
happen?
don't
They
send,
post- did they
send
post the
Ann
wrong
the one
story?
that I haven't yet said good to go, because if it's a little typo or something more major, she'll get confused occasionally.
Okay, sounds good. We'll do.
Okay. Okay. We're okay.
What, Raheem?
I just like I think with everything we're trying to do, we need to like have these processes be like as flat as possible. And so like if that's something that we see happening like on a regular basis, Laura, then I think like, yeah, let's reevaluate like this process and figure out how to fix it. But like if this process of like sending it with Ann and Doug on it at the same time as you has been working for the most part, I think we should like try to make that work instead of like,
Well, as long as they
I'm just, like
understand,
from a logistics, from a logistics standpoint, like if I send out something to Ann and Doug once, like I don't want to have to like come back. I don't want to have to like send something to you and then get it back from you and then send it to them. Like even though it sounds and it isn't a lot of work, but it's like it is time that like I know that I will completely forget to do that second step a lot of times, and then the thing won't get posted ever. I just know like I know how my brain and my life has been working this last like several months, and I imagine Gabby's has been like very similarly busy. So I would appreciate if we can keep our processes as flat as possible so that we're not having to like make additional steps if they're not necessary.
okay, well, that's fine. So wait, hang on. but
What
we've
Laura's alluding to is the website posting requirement. You know how like
Two
we need
board
to have
members,
two
yeah.
ExCom members
officers.
approve. So I'm thinking, since we want to keep it
let me just say
short.
something, Raheem, the reason this is as flat as we can go, what we're trying to avoid is sending it to the entire executive committee and waiting for two people to approve. We've agreed at a couple of meetings ago that Gabby and I are just going to be the designees. That's two. It's okay.
I get that.
It's okay if what you want to do is send it to Ann and Doug, so long as they understand, wait for Laura's version.
Yeah, and that's what's happened in the past, and it's worked in the past. I've seen that process work in the past. All I'm saying is that what that allows me to do is completely check out. Once I've sent that email, I can completely check out, and it can still happen. If I have to send it to you and send it back to them, like if I check out, then that story may not get posted. You know,
That's fine.
So when we do that, then what you can do, Raheem, is send it to Laura and myself, or if I get to it first, I'll send it to Laura and CC you, and then also CC Ann and Doug and make it clear in the email body that we need final approval from Laura before it gets posted. Once she provides that, then Ann and Doug know to post it.
Yeah, and I think I've seen it work that exact way in the past, and so I just don't want to go away from that. From what I've seen work in the past.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Cool. Okay. That's it, right? Awesome. Website updates.
Unless we should look. Do you know who's next week on the schedule? We should probably
no, I don't.
I can look it up real fast.
Okay. I'm gonna disconnect for just a second.
Schedule. So, Greg. That's Greg sent us something, didn't he? Or did she go all the way away?
Well, Greg had
yeah, I think he did actually. Yeah, I feel like he sent us something.
Because he's next.
Okay. I also feel like Nancy, that you plugged her into exactly the time frame that I think she's out of town next week. I mean, you need to check in with her because she canceled her meeting for next week. Due to a scheduling conflict.
Well, Gabby, what I'll do is I'll send an email to Nancy and Marielle and Paula. Just checking in.
And let me suggest on Mario, if she doesn't have a story idea, her daughter's been doing a good, it's been working well for her on distance learning from school. And I would love to hear how that is, if she has no other ideas, because she's got a kid who's well focused on distance learning. And how did she achieve that?
Okay, thank you.
If she doesn't have her own completely different idea.
Yep. Okay, I have this email up. I'll send this later. Okay, what's next? Oh, you're muted.
The photographer application, that's the one that you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, and I'm not like married to that being a thing that we use, but I Googled and that came up.
Cool. Okay.
I think it's a pretty good one. Is there a way, I don't know if you just have to do what that says. I would love to see what's the best way to reach you, email or mobile.
Yeah.
So that they only have to give one thing out, because some people, if they don't want people calling them ever, they wouldn't want that information out.
Yeah, and you can. This is just a template. You can edit any and all fields and add or delete fields. And I'm not saying that these fields are even.
No, the rest of it I thought was pretty good, actually.
Well, I think we'll still change it up a little bit, but the form is what I was.
Yeah, I like it.
So anyway.
Okay.
Michael.
So Michael, it's your turn.
Well, for that pro form, is there anything against using Google Forms?
Yeah, we can totally use it.
Just because it keeps everything into one place, and then it just puts all the entries into a
like a cool spreadsheet.
Yeah, spreadsheet.
Yeah, I like.
And it's secure.
Okay.
And then you could customize it however you'd like to. And then
Michael, anything you suggest, we will do.
You're like, oh, that's a great idea. Yes.
Yeah. Everything you say is a great idea.
I've already thought of
so
like
website.
People who apply for your guys' photography and graphic design too, because I know some people that are either out of art school or kind of getting into it as well. So I'll pass on that form for them to sign up to.
Awesome.
Do you want someone in the neighborhood? I'm assuming, right?
I think ideally, yeah. I mean, I think, like I said, I think, and Gabby and I will talk about this and figure this out. But there's gonna be things like people are gonna come to us as candidates, and it'll be like a factor in their candidacy, right? Like, I think it'll be like if all things are even and somebody lives in the neighborhood and somebody doesn't, like maybe we give the leg up to the person that does. I don't know. It's something that Gabby and I haven't talked about yet, but we will at some point.
Well, and also noting, we gave you a budget. If you wanted to split the budget between two people, you could.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know, because they're going to get rich either way.
Exactly.
I live in the neighborhood. I have a camera.
You already have a job, Michael.
Right. You already have a job. You don't get paid for
a job that you're not going to get paid to do, but it's
I think
equally
he's
important.
That maybe a little scratch would be good.
All right. So I'm going to preface it. We're in the website updates item number 5, which we're now 60 minutes behind, I guess, or 10 minutes behind. So we asked Michael to kind of go through our website and figure out what can be done to make it more logical, more pretty, of course, and just an overall feel of what he thinks we should, or what we can fix, and how to make it organized and how to make it a website that people can come to and feel like it reflects their neighborhood. So Michael, you've got the floor.
Hello, thank you. So I just reviewed it and kind of what was it, with SiteGround as well as WordPress, and just kind of realizing it's been a while since I've used WordPress, and especially with speaking with you two last time to kind of get a initial, just, you know, what is your wish list? What are you guys trying to accomplish? What are the requirements that you guys were talking about, especially with having kind of what the site has now and what you'd want it to have more of. And I feel that it would kind of be just better to build a new one. And I've reached out to certain hosting places to see what kind of discounts they would give to like government bodies, because I know we're not a nonprofit, we're a government body. So I just reached out to kind of ask them about that. But in terms of what you guys would like, especially the kind of only the only gripe I have with WordPress is kind of like it's that whole analogy where if you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. No, wait, no, that's the wrong one.
I like that one though.
Yeah. But it's basically, it's kind of like WordPress is this tool, and then we need to kind of mix everything we want to do to make this tool work for it. And then I remembered that about WordPress, and it's like, it is this very awesome, very extensive tool, but in order for you to do the things that you need or require, you kind of have to do it in the way WordPress does it. And it's very opinionated in that way. Whereas with what you guys want and need, it's very relatively basic in terms of, you know, just very straightforward in like a calendar of events, or with hosting up files, or just having each committee kind of put up their own minutes and things like that. It shouldn't be this convoluted process, and having those kind of things in wish lists could just be something that would be able to kind of just build from scratch as well. And then being able to, with your guys's requirement list, it shouldn't be an issue, especially with the timeline that you guys have proposed ahead too. And the good thing is too, I've been mentoring 3 other developers on the side, and kind of their internship is finishing up with my other side client. So the great thing is I have like people that would be able to kind of help out in that. But a lot of it is just more of how we want to do it moving forward. But it's definitely very doable. And I think that I think the great thing about this is having it be a tool that will be easy for kind of technical and non-technical people to use it. I mean, that's kind of always my goal when building a web app, is just my target audience is my mother. And so whenever I build anything, I always have her kind of use it and test it out and stuff like that. So that's always kind of my goal with that. But yeah, and just reviewing of it, I feel that it would be better served for UNNC to kind of build it out. Design wise, I mean, it could still stay the same design, like the look and feel could still stay the same. It's just more of the infrastructure of how everything is. It could be something that I could use my skill set to just build a custom tool and application for you guys.
Awesome.
Cool. So do you have like any estimates yet, or should we wait till the next meeting to talk about like how much it'll cost to build a new website?
Yeah, I'm volunteering, right? So it's gonna be free.
No, I mean for like the website. I thought we were buying a
It
new
would probably
host
be
or...
either the same.
We're recording this, right? This is all on the record.
Yeah, I know, right? Did I
Got
just
Daddy, we
admit to
got
that? I was like, I'm setting up an LLC.
Darn, you're right. And we didn't record the last time when we talked about you working for free.
Well, no, and that's the thing too, because it would, my goal is to either save you guys money or it'd be the same cost of what you're spending now. Because I was really surprised at how big your budget is, but I don't see it because what you guys are spending now for the hosting and stuff like that. I mean, outside of whatever your budget is for the admin people that are running it, my goal is to save you guys money on that end. And then that's why I'm trying to reach out to these other hosting places to kind of give us some type of discount or something like that. I don't know what it may or may not be, but
so I'm jumping in. I do not, the hosting might be limited by rules the city has set up. Maybe yes, maybe no. But the hosting cost is hardly a problem with our budget. So I don't think that's the most important thing to be focused on. I think the functionality is the issue.
He's not focused on that. We just wanted to give wanted to give Michael a big picture view of everything that our committee spends money on, and that was one of the lines.
But I will say, because as the person who holds the credit card that pays for all of the hosting and this and that and the other, the time involved with me having to change all of that would be upsetting to me. I'm just saying. I'd rather stay with the host, stay with those kind of things, unless it's infeasible, because that's got
no, it shouldn't take you that long, Laura. It'll take you 5 minutes. No, that
no,
I'm sorry, that's not even like okay,
Gabby, but it's also not pertinent. I mean, in other words, who the host is, whether it's GoDaddy, Just Host, any of those other ones, that's not what you're redoing the website in a different software. And I'm not speaking of the software or the platform, I'm talking just the hosting stuff. I don't know that we need to change the host. That's all I'm saying. Maybe we can definitely discuss. And the registry, because right now our domain name, everything is in one place. Who I'm paying, who we're paying and using at the moment, my credit card, which is not my personal credit card, it's a city credit card. Everything is the same entity, and it's kind of pre-scheduled. And Gabby, you're wrong about the 5 minutes, because we'd have to go back to the city clerk funding team to reapprove the automatic payments, because it's just stupidly complicated and bureaucratic.
I can keep that in mind in terms of the hosting and everything, because outside of, the hosting I think kind of distracted us, but in terms of the site itself, it's something that I could rebuild. I mean, regardless of what the hosting solution will be, but in terms of the actual site, it's something that I can do for you guys and build out a new something.
So,
so I have
and you said that timeline's doable, right, Michael?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I throw in a couple of the functionality things, or add?
Can you email us that, Laura, so that we can share that with Michael, since we're running late?
Okay. I was just going to say, I wanted to show what Mark Ridley Thomas on his brand new website that has no content yet. I just want to share what he has done on his banner, if you don't mind. If I can figure this out. Can you guys? Probably not. Do you see how you can choose your language, English, Korean, or Spanish? I like that. That's what I'm trying to say. I think it's right there and easy to see. And so that would be good. And as well, in the conversation yesterday on yet another webinar on digital media, blah, 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 one of the neighborhood councils is looking into making sure their website has accessibility, for example, alternative text for images for the sight impaired. And that's not a bad idea either. I don't know what it means exactly, but it seems like a good idea.
Accessibility is for people who this is also what I do for work. So people that don't have full functionality, whether it be visual, sound, or physical abilities. So, and that's what accessibility is. And then also too, it's like screen readers for people that are hard of seeing, or like, let's say some people can't even use a mouse, so they would just use the keyboard to navigate. And so that's what they would mean by accessibility. So obviously all of us in here are able-bodied, you know, we have our eyes and our 4 limbs, but it would be for somebody that just kind of similar with ADA in terms of physical places. That would be the same thing with accessing websites. And currently, you guys as well, with your current website, there is translation. It's through Google Translate. So it translates right now to Spanish. And then that was another thing I was gonna bring up too, is you guys, whether, I mean, if you have the manpower hours, you can have stuff translated. Because I mean, of course, having those Google Translates is just like a let the machine talk. But I mean, if you have people that could translate all your stuff in different languages, that would be amazing. And then that's how it would be. I know, but I'm just saying it could be set up that way where it's open for translation, whether it be through an automatic translator like Google, or if you have the resources to have someone translate into Spanish, Mandarin, Korean, Russian, I don't know what other.
Yeah, we probably don't have the resources for that.
Yeah, but currently your guys' site is doing that now, and that is something we could easily do with the new site as well.
Right. We would definitely need Korean. We haven't, if we don't have it now, we should have it now.
All right. And if you have any other feedback, Laura, please send it to us. But we will follow up with you, Michael, via email for any next steps. Unless Raheem, you want to add anything at this point?
Just one quick question, Michael, because we've talked a little bit about like our processes and kind of like our structure and how we work with the Zoom Winkle team now. And I'm just wondering, like, if we're moving into a version of the website that is a little less like work intensive for a vendor like Zoom Winkle, like, are there areas you think we could shift responsibilities to them? Like, what sort of things are we doing now that where the processes, maybe you don't know this yet, but like where the processes could maybe be shifted to like somebody that we are paying a monthly fee to, like, that we shouldn't necessarily be taking on ourselves? Like, are there glaring examples of that are making us like inefficient? Or
no, not currently, because I meant especially with how you guys, from what you told me, where you have the content set up and then you would send it to Laura for email or to them to put on the website, it would kind of be the same process. And so, and then the good thing is too, I mean, since it seems like they're very proficient with WordPress, this should just be even easier for them.
okay.
But everything else should probably stay everything would most likely stay the same. And then if you wanted to optimize things, then you could, but especially like how, I'm getting too much into the detail, but like similar to how you wanted like other committees to be able to kind of update their minutes as well, then whatever processes you guys create, like that could definitely be integrated with however you're going to do it. But it should, if anything, it shouldn't change the process now.
Right. So if our next agenda item is this policy, if it's adopted, if the city adopts the social media, digital, whatever the heck it is, policy, then only a few select people will be allowed to upload to the website. So, I think we don't need to prioritize that every committee chair has the right to upload. I'm not sure we'd ever want that, because it would still require 2 executive committee members to approve. And you know, and as Raheem is saying, it's more flattening the process. But conversely, I think my understanding is that WordPress allows people who don't know Java or all those other software to still upload. So whatever we do, that needs to be still true.
WordPress is just confusing as heck to me.
Yes,
but sometimes, and I'm like, what is
yes,
this
but
monster?
less confusing than whatever one needs for some of these older websites where you have to actually do something to upload it, right? I mean, I don't even know what the something is. Michael, I'd love to talk to you offline about a different website that I need help with. But anyway, where no one but the designer is able to upload because they have to, all right, what is that called? They have to code it. They have to code all new content. And that's what I think we can't do.
Okay.
Right.
So is that it, Raheem, from you? Questions? Okay. We'll move on to item number 6, the DUNS digital social media policy.
Right.
Laura, this is more your forte,
I
so
know.
feel free to chime in.
So,
And we have, as a reminder,
yeah.
I would say 5 minutes tops on this item.
Okay, so well,
Tops.
I guess I want to ask the question then. I think we don't have it. My understanding from last night's meeting, at the Dunn meeting, we don't have a deadline of January 7th. So, you know, so we can put this off. Do you want me, I'm gonna just post it first. I'm gonna share it. I'm going to share first very quickly maybe I am and maybe I'm not, the policy. They're proposing, this is not what I wanted to do. Okay, I'm having a little trouble with getting the right thing to share. So the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment is proposing a policy that would make all neighborhood councils rigidly having to adhere to a long set of rules about what can be posted, what cannot be posted, and also how to administer it. So they would be requiring that every neighborhood council have a moderator and every neighborhood council have an administrator, and neither one of those would be the paid person. And it would be quite a task, and they have to have a dedicated email. Some of this is easy, some of it's not so easy, because once you have a dedicated email saying, you know, web administrator app, anyone who has the password could still read it. There's a lot of pushback from most of the neighborhood councils against having this policy, the whole thing, adopted. The key issues are the extra work, the requirement that Dunn is saying all admin, all logins has to be shared with Dunn. They're saying because of what if you lose it, security issues, but thus far, the only times they've utilized their power over the communications from a neighborhood council was when they took over a neighborhood council. So once you give them everything, they can also take over you. So that, I mean, and people are saying that. So one of my recommendations would certainly be that, yes, the city, somebody in the city ought to have this information in case you guys leave and we don't have the information, although we do. But I think it should be the city controller, you know, just an independent third-party entity whose job it is to audit all the departments anyway, and not give the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment that information if it was to happen. What really kind of came out last night was more of a consensus among the participants that this should not be a mandatory policy, but instead should be rethought to be a development of a training handbook and best practices. And I'm feeling like that might be where I'd go as well. So the question is, how do we handle this? Do you want me to prepare, you know, based on other neighborhood councils and everything, prepare a recommendation that is then specifically dealt with at this meeting a month from now? And what I am going to share is another neighborhood council's letter. So, because I think this lays some stuff out. So this is from the Bel Air Beverly Crest Neighborhood Council, and they've already done their whole meeting. And so in general, they say they appreciated the effort to set parameters, but it's informed by too narrow a view of the neighborhood council's chartered purpose and mission, and it's too cumbersome to implement, and it takes time away from our ability to implement what we really want to do, which is better outreach and communication with our audiences. And as you can see, they're saying it's a limited view, that this policy is stating a limited view of NC purposes. They're saying that we need to, the policy is saying we need to limit what we talk about to just promoting our membership, promoting attendance, promoting approved and authorized neighborhood council events. But the actual, when they say chartered purpose, this is in the Los Angeles Municipal Code. The actual purpose is for neighborhood councils to promote more citizen participation in government and to make government more responsive to local needs, and further to monitor the delivery of city services. So that's the actual LAMC language, and that's what we do at UNNC. But that's no longer what they're trying to do in this policy. So this document that I'm sharing, this letter, is up in our agenda packet. So I would want to come up with a statement, not this statement, but deal with a statement from UNNC. So the question is, how do I do that? That would be work for you guys, because what's not working for you guys is a 1-hour conversation on this topic alone at your committee meeting, clearly. You know, because when Raheem looked at it first glance, right, you said, oh yeah, this is not a problem. We do most of these things. And a lot of neighborhood councilors saying, yeah, not a problem. We do most of these things. They just don't want to be told they have to. And they don't want to share the logins and the admins with Dunn.
I kind of like that prepared response from the other neighborhood council.
Yeah. Yeah, and well, a lot of them are working on it now. It's just we've been given more time. They worked fast because initially we weren't given time, and now we've been given more time because there's been such pushback.
Well, I mean, if you want to like take a stab at that and bring it back to our 21st meeting to vote on it, I'm fine with that.
I mean, if that's okay, because
well,
I know, because you don't want to spend an hour here. I mean, I got that.
I mean, I already read it and agree with Raheem that most of these things are already being done. I don't really think we would ever do anything that Dunn would be, you know, would say we're taking over. You know, I think we're pretty good with the sticking with the rules. So I don't see an issue with it, but I mean, you know, if you want to run the show, I'm totally open to that. And we can sign on whatever you want to recommend.
Right. Well, I'm tracking it fairly closely. Okay. I may or may not attend the bonk meeting, which I think it's Monday. They're going to talk about this again. But the last Board of Neighborhood Commissioners bonk meeting, they went on for 4 hours. So I kind of fell off the meeting after. Yeah. I mean, you know, I like meetings, but hello. It's like, I can't.
Yeah. We know you do.
We know you do.
But not that much.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll agendize this for the 21st, and I'll put a reminder to add it to that agenda. And then Laura, you can share with us your prepared statement for us to just discuss and approve, I suppose.
All right.
All right, next item, review of social media postings. I don't have any updates. I was a bad child and couldn't get to any of them this week, but we'll attempt to get to them next week.
Well, what
we'll
are we
have
going
to
be posting during the holidays?
Happy holidays.
Well, yeah, I mean, are we going to start posting? Not that people.
Do we need anything else?
Well, no, COVID, but everybody can probably get to it, you know, get the COVID information on their own. But
We'll just throw a link in there or something.
Look, if somebody's coming to our website for the most up-to-date COVID information, they're screwed. Okay, like
they will get COVID if they're coming to us.
Yeah. Well,
That's funny. All right, so we'll pick up on that next time.
Oh,
Yeah.
the
Except Lizzie.
it's of the HPLC website.
oh,
The
right.
what?
Yes, Lizzie has something she wants us to do.
Yeah.
So
What did you say, Lizzie?
I believe, it's the website release of the Friends of the Jefferson Park HPOZ, which I'm also part of that working group. Audrey, didn't Audrey send something to you, Laura?
No, at your meeting.
No,
Yeah.
but before that, I believe.
Well, yeah, no, Audrey had shared it with West Adams Heritage, and there's been a lot of conversation back and forth with Waha, because it's a really great website that they just just launched.
So Lizzie, what do you want us to do?
I believe one of our members had sent in a press release announcement to
And to who?
I'm not sure. I thought it was to Laura,
To
but
Laura?
No, was not sent to me directly. Hang on.
okay.
Hey,
Then
but I'm thinking, hang on a second.
Hold on, Lizzie, you're trying to say something. I can't hear you.
Okay. So one of our members of the working group for the Friends of the Jefferson Park HPLC, I believe they had sent an announcement of the website launch. But if that hasn't happened, I can take care of that.
Yeah,
And
please do.
if it could be announced in the UNNC website, that would be great.
Sounds
For
good.
sure.
Share it with us and we'll follow up.
Okay.
Okay, I have it. Hang on a sec. It was sent not to me exactly, but
Well, just
Okay.
Laura, when you find it, just send it to Gabby and me, and we can get it up.
right.
We'll get it up. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Lizzie.
Thanks, Lizzie.
Okay, next item, number 8, communications and marketing ideas. It's hard to get this virtual event going.
Yeah, what's the update? Because that's why I came to visit.
Oh,
Bad
you
news.
know what? We do need to talk, Lizzie, do we not need to talk something about the election?
At this point, I need to get the meeting set up.
Okay,
and talk to the committee.
What election? Is this it for this committee?
Yeah, you guys are like,
no, we have to we have
Lizzie
to
and
do
Laura, you guys need to set up a
communication.
meeting where you guys can talk to each other.
No. The neighborhood council elections will need to be well promoted via communications committee, and
Okay,
the candidates somehow get to start applying in the third week of January, and we don't even know what we're doing. So you need to be prepared that we're going to have to do a push, that we don't know what the push is, but you probably need to mark your calendars for around the 15th, I guess, of January, where we start pushing out information that we don't yet have. And I'm
okay.
posting in the chat the press release. It's maybe incomplete, but if you want to save the chat, and I didn't read it. I just grabbed it out of the West Adams Heritage email.
Excuse me. Okay,
So
I've copied it.
So I will read it more carefully and maybe craft something that's more publishable.
Okay, just email it to us when ready. So back to our current item, communications virtual events. It is incredibly hard to get engagement from our members, so we have not really been able to move forward, Raheem, right? Is that that's
Yeah, I mean, I can't even put it on our members. It's been me too. Like, I just haven't had the time or the focus to really get this off the ground. It's something that I still really want to do. Lizzie, you've been the one who's like trying to make this happen. So I really appreciate your stick-to-itiveness with it. We'll get it done. We'll have a virtual variety show at some point in the future. I don't know when, but it'll be really cool when it does happen.
Okay. Would you please send
Yeah,
a message to Sai, just
Yeah.
telling her that it's up in the air, that this is our first effort, because I had already,
yep,
like you told me, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I sold you a bag of goods. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. But
Right.
I have her email up right now. I'll reply.
he's super responsive from the get-go, so I didn't want to lose that.
Yeah. Thank you for the reminder. I just pulled the email up right now. As soon as the meeting is over, I'll send her a
Okay.
response.
Correct.
Thank you, Lizzie. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks.
Right, and I did speak to AJ Lentini, who's the comedian I mentioned, about the possibility of, if we do need a moderator or a comic for a 5-minute set. So
That's great.
and his name is AJ Lentini. And
If you want to do the same thing Lizzie did, and just if you want to connect him to me via email, then I can just I can take it from there. Yeah.
yeah,
That'd
I
be
will.
cool.
I'll send an email to the both of you. And obviously then you'll tell them, and we don't know when it is. I told them it's most likely on a Saturday. I said we didn't know anymore when it is, but it'll be on a Saturday, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon for an hour and a half or so.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what I told him, and that's a good time for him. He would never be able to do it on a Sunday, but we cannot schedule around him.
Correct. The show must go on, Laura. The show
No,
must go.
I understand that. I'm saying he works Sundays through Thursday.
Yeah.
So,
Just kidding. Sounds good. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending. I think we're done 10 minutes earlier. Woo!
and yet you were bugging me to hurry up, right?
Laura, I know that I do it out of, respect for our members' time,
I know.
and that don't take it personal.
Laura, you still got to speak for a majority of the meeting, so you still came out on top.
Whatever. Well, I feel I'm a full participant, but you'll be so proud of me. I walked away from the homeless. I don't mean in a good way, but I mean, I did not attend the Homelessness Liaison Committee. I just turned it on and made them host. But I do feel that this one I'm participating in, at least for now. And if, I know we need to do some stuff on COVID. And I'll ponder what that should be and try and write something again. And I will be sending out, since we won't have any meetings for the next couple weeks, instead I'll be doing, just some news update MailChimp. So those are the ones I do need you guys, Gabby and Raheem, to read before I send out. So I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I'm becoming a little more comfortable sending out meeting notices, but I'm not at all comfortable sending something out that's not being proofread. Jeff Camp no longer is available. I mean, he's no longer our person. So you guys really, please check your emails every once in a while. Thank you.
Thank you. Lizzie? Yeah.
Because we're here together. So it was you and Nancy who wanted to be part of the committee, who had volunteered
Or
the
what committee?
for the
Election.
election.
Oh, yeah. Just send me the info you need, or send me the info on that, and we can talk offline about it. But I'm happy to help in any way.
And then it was Nancy as well, right?
I think it was Dorit that wanted to help, but she couldn't do chair. I don't remember Nancy.
Okay, that's fine. I will email everyone since we also have a Paul as new member. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
And then
true.
set up a meeting. Okay.
I know. Okay, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
And just so you guys know, several of our board members, I'm just gonna say in quotes, are not feeling well right now. So I don't know necessarily what that means, but Paula and Dorit were unable to attend the meeting earlier this evening. So I don't know because they were ill. So I don't know what kind of responses we're going to be getting right now, Lizzie. That
Okay.
I mean, I'm hoping it's not COVID,
Right.
but 1 in 4 Angelinos at this point apparently are cursed with it.
Yes, it is. It is everywhere now.
Yeah.
I'm just,
Yeah.
So last thing, to just kind of end on a different note than that. Michael, when should Gabby and I touch base with you again to kind of figure out next steps, or are you just going to continue on your own path and you'll come back to us at some point, or how should we proceed?
Oh, up to you guys. I'm ready to meet whenever. If you guys want to wait till after the new year, just to kind of settle everything out, because it seems like you guys have a lot to do.
Yeah.
But I'm basically in a holding pattern until we talk again, because I have the requirements that we built out last time, and then so it would just be a kind of planning a next meeting for us, and then I would work out like the actual working out the actual features that we would want to have on the site and building and all that stuff. And then I could ask more technical questions in terms of like what Laura was saying of who can update it and whatever the rules may be, and just kind of other things to be mindful of. But I'd say let's do it after the new year. So then you guys, because it seems like you guys have a lot to do right before the New Year's with your other meetings and stuff. But I'm in a holding pattern till you guys, and we can just schedule whenever you guys are free.
Okay, so yeah, maybe Gabby and I will talk, and if it makes
Okay.
sense after the new year, cool. If not, we'll set something up sooner than that. But
Yeah, I'm
thank you again
totally
so
free.
much.
And Gabby, does your board go on hiatus, or do they just work through the whole time? Your job board.
No, they're not having a meeting until February, so I'll have some time in January. All of January will be free for me.
Yeah, well, you look like you should get some sleep like now.
I know. I need her. All right, you guys, I have to jump off, but thank you so much for your time, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We'll talk soon.
Bye. So